Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Ghost Maker, because naming characters is hard. No, I guess it's, what do you guys think about that name? Is that a cool name or is that a not cool name? Because it's trying so hard to be cool. That's where I'm at with it. But it's a really cool character design. It's one of my favorites I've seen in a long time. I didn't even know this character existed until this figure came out. And I'm hearing that a lot from people with this McFarlane line because they're really grabbing some obscure, at least versions of characters, if not characters altogether. But this one's pretty cool. It is a future state release, and I don't know much about the future state whole line, so that's probably why. Anyway, it's a really cool looking character, and it's a really cool looking figure. Did they do a good job with it? Let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about let's say 7¼ inches. It's pretty close. And that's going to make him just about 18.75 centimeters, roughly. And that's going to be enough for you to do your scaling purposes. And this guy does have a lot of really cool stuff going on. But first, we have to do a question of the day. How familiar are you guys with the whole future state run of comics? I'm guessing it's a whole run of comics. I don't know. I didn't know about it at all until McFarlane Toys came out. So, second add-on question, are you guys buying figures of things you're not that familiar with because they're cool and they're related to things you're familiar with, like Batman, or are you not interested in things that you haven't read about in the comics? For me, I usually only buy stuff that I actually am familiar with. But the being related to the character is enough for me if it's a cool enough design, and that's why this kind of thing is on my channel. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetics. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of molded plastic, quite a bit of paint, and it's all pretty well executed. This guy has a really nice composition. Could a wash bring him to life? Definitely. A super light gray wash on this white color would be really nice, although this is slightly yellow white, so maybe not quite beige, or maybe not quite gray. Maybe a beige would be good. But either way, we have all this gunmetal going on. There is black also. We have some detail work, which isn't as nice as it could be. These are supposed to be glowing things. Mine aren't glowing. They don't look like they're glowing. They just have a blue line on them. On here, the card, they look like they're glowing. Same thing with the eye lines. They don't look glowing either, but they do look nice. So that's okay. The logo on the shoulder is pretty good. All in all, it's a really well put together figure. The black is painted well on here. His shell-toed shoes look pretty decent. I like that. I like the texture throughout the body. Like, all of the cloth is textured. Looks really, really nice. The armor, or the metal, has like some pitting going on. I like that. The cape has a different texture. That's pretty good. Very well done. They put a lot of effort into this one, and I like that a whole bunch. The pants look a little weird because they're super baggy, and they're supposed to be super baggy. And the only reason I think they look weird on the figure is the knees are a little bit low. When you pose him, it looks extra weird because the knees are so low. But also, they made the bagginess even on both sides, whereas when a person's standing in baggy pants, the legs are generally closer together, and the bag is more on the side. I think if they bagged on the side more than bagging right in the middle, it would have looked a little bit better if it looks weird to you. If it doesn't look weird to you, then don't worry about it. But it is overall a fairly accurate representation of the character. I do think they made the waist a little skinny, and the armor makes the crotch look a little bit low, and it is a little bit low, but once you pose them at all, you're not going to notice those things. It's just a very unique design. And again, I do think they did a really good job of capturing it. So I'm going to give the aesthetic rating a 9.5? 9.5 out of 10, yes. The paints could be a little cleaner. Down here you see some issues. The straps aren't quite lined up perfectly, but this is a really aesthetically pleasing figure for the $20 price point. Very good. So 9.5 for the aesthetic. Now for accessories, he doesn't exactly have a ton. We do get his two swodes, which I realize now that I said it, nobody's going to know that reference because that's from a person I used to play video games with, and he actually pronounced the word sword. The word sword, or sword, like that. He had some kind of weird accent, swode. Anyway, the swords are okay. They're kind of shiny. Well, I mean, they're definitely shiny metallic blades, but they're very soft PVC, so I would not be surprised if those warp. Nice enough paint job, but very warp prone. So soft and flaccid. Okay, so yeah, they look nice, but I don't think they're going to perform that well at that state of rigidity. Okay, we do also have the trading card, which is fine if you want it. I guess it basically is a better looking version of the figure you just bought, so don't care for that. And the display stand, which is worthless. So, not great. He also has trigger finger hands. Not great there either. I don't know, 5 out of 10. Not enough. And flaccid swords, not cool. Okay. Well, let's talk about the articulation. The head is on some ball pegs, and other than this hood being in the way back here, it poses pretty well. It leans. Up and down is somewhat limited due to this. Well, not down, but up. So yeah, it works well enough. I'll take it. I think given the character design, that's okay. Shoulder pads are the same on both sides, so I'll show you on this side, then we'll talk about this. It is connected to the shoulder, not the bicep, but you can still raise the arm. It does fight it though, so that's definitely a problem on this side. You get your full rotation, you get your bicep swivel, and you get a little bit of play on that ball joint, but not much. Double jointed elbow works really well. It's not the best looking we've ever seen from them, but it's a perfect 180 basically, straight back. Not like these new Spider-Man figures that only can bend their elbow that far. What is that nonsense? Alright, on this side, the shoulder's going to do the same thing, except even less. So raising the arm out to the side, not a good idea. Raise it up and then out if you want to, but you do have limitations. Even though it's the same shoulder pad here, this is obviously in the way. And the cape is connected, by the way. It's not going anywhere, so don't plan on that. The sword scabbard thing is on a swivel. I guess it's technically a ball peg. So you can move them a little bit, that's cool. They are hollow though. I hate hollow sword scabbards. Can you see that? I hate that. You can see the swords in there once you have them in too. Golly, that is not okay by me. They don't even stay in unless you like tuck them in. Ooh, no, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Okay, onto the torso. It's a couple of ball pegs, really. Top ball peg leans back really far, leans forward almost at 0, leans to the side a little bit, and you get your rotation. Bottom ball peg, all the way around, basically. Let's see if I can show you this better. Bottom ball peg does lean forward and back pretty well. Side to side better than the top, and you get your rotation. And this is all just one squishy piece. This whole abdomen and hip skirt armor thing, all one piece. The diaper is a separate piece, and then there's joints inside. So it poses well enough, but don't expect it to lean forward all that far, because you're not going to get it other than at the hips. Okay. Speaking of hips, he can still kick pretty high. Just better than horizontal. That's okay. They go back pretty far also. What's the cake rating? Ooh, 0. That is I'm going to give that one a 0 out of 10. There is no cake to be had there. Maybe a 1 technically, because there's a little bit. I'll give him a 1. A 1 on the cake scale. Okay, so thigh swivel, non-existent. Single jointed knee, and this is what I was talking about. It's just too low. It's just a little bit too low, so it looks a little bit weird. If it was higher up, it'd be a little bit nicer. Like, start the knee at the top of the wrinkles, maybe. That would have been better. But it is a single jointed knee with rotation. That's not super useful. And I do think they should have carved just a little bit more out, so you can get a little bit better range. You're getting about 90 degrees only. So that's a bummer. On this type of joint, you really can stretch that range. Just carve out the back a little bit. It's already all wrinkly and weird looking. So that would have been better. But this is okay for the character design. It's not the worst they could have done, for sure. The ankles have sculpted ball hinges, so they go really far forward, really far back. You have more range than most, so you have more positions to use that heavy ratchet, but it's still a heavy ratchet, and that's no good. Of course, the ankle rocker is great. And the toe joint on this guy is nice and forward, so that's good, but does it have any... Yeah. It's not super floppy, and it's pretty far forward, so it's a decent enough toe joint. So yeah, this guy works pretty well articulation-wise. The armor obviously gets in the way for the shoulders. Abdomen works well enough. Knees are definitely good enough given the design. I'm not mad at it. I think it's alright. It's definitely, for the price point, perfectly acceptable. The aesthetic makes up for the rest of it. It has some shortcomings in accessories and articulation, but it's not bad by any means. Did I give the articulation a rating? I don't know if I did. If I didn't, I'll go 7. It could definitely be better, but it's understandable. It's an understandable 7. Okay, final verdict on this release. This figure is gorgeous overall. For the $20 price point, all unique parts, heavily sculpted, fairly heavily painted. It does have some accessories, and it does pose generally well. this $20 price point going up against Hasbro's $25 to $27 price point, and then all unique sculpts and more paint. Like, Hasbro can't keep doing what they're doing the way I'm looking at it. You guys can let me know how you feel about that, but I'm going to give this figure a 9 out of 10. It looks really, really good. I gave Blight only an 8, I think. I don't care. I'm giving it a 9. This poses pretty well. It looks really good, and I don't care. I'm doing it. If you want to give it an 8, fine, but I'm saying 9. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you probably should. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.